everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Making Money Moves. I'm your host, Aaliyah, of course. Last week we had Christina on here, Danielle Cornelius. Thank you for coming with Women Exceeding. With her, she works with her nonprofit is Women Exceeding, and she also works with, does money management. So, I mentioned about credit management, not credit repairs, credit management. And with her company, because it's nonprofit, it is free. So if you all know, if you come to me, you got to pay. But I want you to be able to just get your credit together, period. So, you can go to her. And I did not post the link, but I will post it today because I did forget. Sorry. But we also, the tips from last week, we talked about networking. She talked about networking and following up, which is very important that you do that. It is one of those things that when you meet people and you get to know these people and people are willing to help, or people, you never know who has what you need, that she might or somebody else might have the information to get you to somebody else. So one thing you should always do, even if you're not really good at it, even just to shoot someone an email, say, hey, it was nice meeting you. This is what was discussed. Maybe we can sit down and have lunch one day, send a follow up to that eventually, just to kind of keep these connects to see, if they know somebody with some information that you need. Okay. So we also talked about, knowing your worth. So I mentioned knowing your worth last week, telling you that I know people, when you start your business, you don't always charge what you think you should charge because you're just getting started, or because you feel like people aren't going to pay for it. But what we do know about the world that we live in is people do pay for what they want, regardless if it's somebody you know or somebody you don't. People always pass along. People will pay for things that are good, and they will pay because of customer service. So knowing your worth and actually in whatever the price is that you are worth is what you need to charge. Plain and simple. I had to learn that I put in too many hours in school, or put in too many hours getting certifications with experience, not to charge what I need to charge when it comes to what I'm worth. So that is what we gave you last week, is knowing your worth. So hopefully you all took that away with having, for your business or for anything that you are doing in life, that you know what you're worth and you don't take anything less. Okay. So today we have entrepreneurs life is what our topic is today, because we have somebody that is here that has done abundance of things. Okay. He is like the super entrepreneur, I feel like. Okay. So his name is Touche Harvey. He is a photographer. He also owns a lounge company. He has owned restaurants. He's owned construction. He also played basketball overseas. Okay, so we're going to get into how you go from playing basketball overseas to being one of, I think, the top photographers in Texas, or in Houston, I know, and how you got all these other things that are going. Okay, so let's get into, thank you for coming, Mr. Harvey. Thank you for sitting in with us today.
Thank you.
Okay, so give us a little bit about, how did you go from basketball? You played basketball overseas. Mm-hmm. So how did you go from basketball to photography?
I actually didn't go from basketball to photography. I went from basketball to, having a marketing company. And
okay.
Part of the marketing company, I was running a media company. And, one of the things that came out of our budget was photography. And mm-hmm. we had a camera there. And whatever I saved in the budget got kept in my pocket. So photography was a big part of the budget. So I picked up the camera and just started playing with it, and noticed I had, somewhat of an eye for it. Mm-hmm. So the first shoot I ever did was, what's his name? Go DJ High C. Okay. Yeah, for a magazine. And I didn't know what I was doing. But the pictures was coming out right. So it just kind of took off from there.
Okay, we always talk about making money moves. So, when you figure out a way to keep some money in your pocket with a budget, picked up a camera, okay? Sometimes y'all just need to pick up the equipment to figure it out. Yeah. Okay, so I like to give you guys, he also owns a hookah lounge, okay? But, I like to give you all the numbers behind everything we do, because it's making money moves, right? Okay, so we'll talk about photography first. Photography is an $11 billion industry, okay? That goes from like you going to JCPenney's to take pictures, to you having your personal photographer, to you hiring someone for a magazine or weddings or parties of some kind. $11 billion is what I saw when I looked it up yesterday. So I was like, so for you to just literally just pick up a camera in this marketing and, you know, media part, and that was just something you did because it kept extra money in your pocket, was obviously turned out to be really great. Because if you all look, I have his Instagram up for the photography. So if you look through the Instagram, you would never know, like, that is how he got started. I would have thought he literally, like, went to school and took these classes and then, you know, did some more research. Like, this is something I wanted to do, which obviously was not the case. This is something that put some money in my pocket, and now I just really was good at being able to do this, okay? Yeah. Do I need a photographer? Here you go.
Here we go.
Okay. So let's go. Okay, so photography. Let's stay on photography for a minute. So what is one of the challenges that you have when it comes to clients for photography? Because everybody that I've talked to when it comes to some type of business or something, clients seem to always be, you know, a little bit of a, not a problem, but, you know, they kind of don't let you do your job. So what's one of the things that you've seen that happens with you with your clients?
I mean, really like project management. They think I'm a project manager. Like, I'm supposed to manage their project and when it's supposed to be done, or stay on them about their stuff. Like, that's been the biggest problem. And it's hard, and I get it, for people to separate me as a person from the business, because as a photographer, I am the business. But a lot of people don't separate that. They feel like, you know, if they see me on social media hanging out, they more so like, hey, what's up with my work, my pictures, my videos, or whatever. And it's like, yo, I'm not the photographer right now. I'm actually the human being. You know what I mean? That's trying to hang out with my friends and family. Like, you know, that's been the biggest thing. Just people think I'm supposed to manage their projects, and that's not what I do. You need to stay on top of your own projects and stuff like that. So that's been the biggest issue. And other than that, instant gratification. Everybody want everything now. Like now, and they don't realize it's a process, like, to taking pictures. I just can't take a picture and throw a filter on it and hand it to you. Like, that's not how it works.
Oh, yeah, we know we live in this microwave society now that everything is like, oh, let me just put this in and do this. And, you know, we come from, from my parents are old school, okay? So my parents are like, no, we got to, everything is homemade. So we got to put ingredients and mix stuff up, put it in the oven, let it kind of cook and simmer. Like, it has a process.
Right.
And I don't think I really think that people that don't have a business, I know I hate to say this, but people that are like that, I think, are people that don't have, like, that don't get how processes work.
Right.
Because I run into that even with taxes. Like, one of the policies that I have is when you, after your money has hit with your, once you get your refund, you can then come back and pick up your tax return. You can't get it until then. But when tax season is over, my hours go from being open 7 days a week to only being open twice a week, but everything else by appointment only. So when people then need tax returns or they then need this, you expect me to then, like, jump and stop what I'm doing to do that versus, you know, you need to call, pick a time like this is, you know, when you were actually supposed to get it. So that's been a problem that I've seen, which is still management from the client, which, you know, I really don't have anything to do with. But I've seen that with my business, so I've had to kind of put different things in place to be able, so people understand, like, this is what this is. I mean,
even if I put something in place, they still not going to understand or get it, because they feel like they pay me for a service and I need to do what they say do. And I'll give you an example. Okay. And I hope they watching or listening, because they made all these comments. I just never reply back because I don't feed into that negative energy like that, because I know the truth. But, you know, did, you know, some film work for somebody.
Okay.
Paid me for their service. I started editing it right afterwards. They wanted some changes, and they said I am a hold on that project for a few months. A few months came. They never hit me, of course. You know, I got other work I'm doing. A year passed. They blowing me up. Hey, I need this video. That ain't how it works. You know, I can't just stop what I'm doing and just start working on your stuff because you're ready now. that's not how it works.
Right.
And, you know, they requested the footage, like, you know how much I have terabytes on top of terabytes on top of terabytes with the hard drives.
Okay.
Like, I can't just sit there and go through all these hard drives just to find your stuff because you're ready for it now. You should have stayed on top of it then. Then they get mad and feel like you took their money. That's not what happened. You know what I mean? You didn't manage your project and you expected me to manage it and move at your time.
Right.
And, you know, stuff like that happens often.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's what I kind of mean by project management. They want me to manage their project and stay on top of them for their own business. And that's not, you know, that's not what I do. I'm not a project manager. I'm a, you know, photographer. Right.
So, people that, if you are listening, which means for the people that, if you are not as organized, I feel like, as you should be when it comes to things that you are doing when you are spending your money, one thing you probably should do prior to going to a photographer or going to anybody is kind of have a timeline in place. So even if you decided you were going to hold on it, you probably might want to still like get whatever you need to get and then just post it or bring it, whatever you got to do later on, so that you still have the information versus waiting. Because I actually did, I had to hit a photographer for a wedding that I did. We did the wedding like a year ago about pictures. Then now she had to like go back and really try to search and find, you know, this stuff for what I needed, which if I would have just literally got the stuff when I needed it at the time, it would have been so much easier, but I wasn't thinking about it. It wasn't a hassle. You know what I mean? I didn't just, you know, it ended up working out, but I definitely understand.
Because people don't realize we spend a lot of money on hard drives. You know what I mean? Like they don't really get that. And you know, they just think we supposed to have everything just on demand. Like I actually, when I finish with a hard drive, there's nothing I need, I put it in the storage. Like, you know, maybe I need to label it better or something like that. But I just put it up because, you know, after 6 months, nobody's asking me for their
for pictures and stuff anymore. Okay. So also, I know that throughout the year, he also has like specials. If you ever, when I first did a shoot with him, literally, I think everybody I needed at that time had a special. I don't think I posted these pictures, but everybody had a special. He had a special for his pictures. The makeup artist, she had a special for hers. My hairdresser ended up having a special with her. Everybody had a special this one particular day that I did all these things this day. It was so great, guys, because you know how frugal I am, so it actually worked out very well. But if you are in Houston and you need a photographer, he also does video. So he does, like he's done some reality shows, like producing for reality shows. I know that's been in Houston that they have shown, and he does a lot when it comes to photography. Like he does, and he's really good and passionate about what he does. Okay, so that's one. So let's get into the second job. Okay, so he owns a hookah lounge. It's called XO Hookah in internet. Yeah, it is a BYOB hookah lounge. And we and I've been there. So I've been to this hookah lounge. It's open, I feel like 7 days a week is what I really think. Yeah. But so let me get into this hookah. Let me give you the numbers behind hookah and tobacco. So what I learned last night was that hookah and tobacco are in the same industry, okay? Which is a $100.3 billion industry. Yep. Which I never really realized that they were with each other. Like, I guess I really never, you know, I just never really knew what hookah was, I guess. Like, I've done it a couple times, but I've never realized, like, what it really was. I just kind of, you know, I just was like, oh, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? It's not really a big deal. But when I got to looking into it yesterday, I was kind of like, you know, it's in the same category with, like, cigarettes. I was just like, oh, man, like, what am I doing to my body, Jesus? But anyway. So, but it is, I know a lot of people that do hookah, it does relax people. It's a good thing. So let's talk about this hookah lounge. So how did the hookah lounge come about?
I enjoy hookah. I started smoking hookah when I lived in Israel. They used to make them, make the hookahs, out of glass and melt the glass and put the hoses and all that in it. Oh, man. So it's just something that's my only vice. I don't really drink or anything like that. So yeah. I drink. I drink. And hookah is profitable. I mean, to make a bowl of hookah between $2 and $3 just to make, a bowl of hookah. So it's real profitable.
Do you see that it's been more beneficial not? So why did you decide not to have alcohol, to serve alcohol while
for one, I'm right by the school, U of H and TSU, and there's a lot of students that's 18.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So to kind of cater them, they can't really drink, and BYOB it gives other people a chance to have a cheap date, I guess. They can come buy a hookah and bring their own bottle and all of that stuff. $50, you got a good vibe, and they can just come hang out. I just want it to be a place where people can come hang out. They ain't got to get all dressed up and fancy, and if it's an off day like a Monday or Tuesday and they just want to go hang out and not spend a bunch of money, they can come there and hang out.
Oh man, that's good. Cheap date. You can take every day of the week. Y'all can go to this hookah lounge with someone different. Okay, sorry, I want to blow some of y'all spots.
They got people that come in there often. Yeah.
That is so funny. So I've been there. Okay, so hookah. It seems like hookah just got really popular within the last couple of years. Maybe here
in Houston, yeah. Because in LA, when I used to go out there a lot, they had hookah lounges everywhere, and this was in 2005.
Okay.
And stuff. So it just really got popular here in Houston. Okay. So everybody is.
That's what I was thinking. I don't remember. So I've been here almost 10 years now. Whew. Been here a long time. And I just don't remember, even the first, and I used to go out all the time when I first got here because I was so excited to be in a big city. I had, went from Michigan to Mississippi to Texas. So I was excited I could have stuff to do every day. But I don't remember hookah just being one of those things that was something let's go to a hookah lounge. Let's go do that. It wasn't like that for first 5 years or so. I want to say that I was here. So I know lately it's been popping up everywhere. It seems like. So hookah is one of those things that it still gives you if you have a buzz, it kind of keeps your buzz.
Yeah, it's like smoking a cigar. You know what I mean? It gives you a little buzz. Relaxes you, and I don't know how a cigarette is because I never smoked a cigarette, but it's more like a cigar in my opinion. It kind of relaxes you and give you the little high you want, and then it's different flavors. So a lot of people like the certain flavors and stuff like that. That makes it more enjoyable to smoke the hookahs. And then you got like the ice tips and different things you can add to them to have cold smoke. Put milk in there, flavored water. There's a lot of different things you can do to make the experience.
Put milk in hookah?
Yeah. Instead of water base, you put milk base, and it makes the smoke full, like big thick clouds.
Oh man.
Yeah.
What if you got problems with milk though? What if you
lactose intolerant?
What's that happen if you
or some almond milk
in there? Oh my gosh! I just be like,
some 2% or some almond milk.
I'm gonna blow your spot up, Lord. I'll be like, oh, yeah. Okay. So what? So you also, I know you also used to own you were co-owner of a restaurant,
right?
So do you think that you will add food to the hookah spot?
Not that spot. Thinking about opening up another location and then having food there. But that spot, I want to keep it like it is. You know what I mean? I thought about having food, but it's just a whole nother beast. Dealing with food. Yeah.
Can you bring in food or have food delivered there?
Yeah. A lot of people do Uber Eats. We actually have a little restaurant next door. Also, food truck is going to start being there as well too. We had one this past weekend, and that was that actually was a good look. Yeah, it worked out very well for us and the food place because people didn't have to leave. Some people get up, I'm hungry, we got to go, let's go get something to eat, versus food is already there that'll make them stay there longer and spend more money. So the food truck come out and makes people stay longer.
Oh, that's good. Always, I like to eat, so I am kind of greedy. I know I don't look, well, I might look like an owl, but I do like to eat, okay? So, so we got hookah, we have photography. You were the co-owner of a restaurant. You also do, and then you play basketball overseas. You just had this. It's probably some stuff that I'm missing that he does.
Yeah, I mean, I just, from...
So what was it that got you like, I don't want to work for anybody else? Because so a lot of people that know you, they know you play basketball. They know that, you own these things. So how did it come for you to be the owner of all these things, and how do you manage basically being the CEO of all these companies? Like, what was it that was like, oh, I don't want to work for anybody else, like I'm gonna work for myself?
I just feel like, why, put money in other people's pocket, like put all the money in my pocket. Like, even from when I was in college, like I got a tattoo on my arm. It's like half basketball, half business, man. Like, from long as I can remember, I always felt like I just had to work for myself and build something for myself and for my family, and not go work for somebody else and build something for them and their families. And I just like seeing nothing turn into something. Like, if I can build something from scratch and, make it into something, like, that's gratifying to me, versus going to build something for somebody else. And, that's just really always been my mindset, like, do for me. You know what I mean? Do for me.
Okay, that makes sense. Not to, these 40 hours a week that we put in for these other people to build their empire. If you turn those same 40, and put that into working for yourself, you probably would come out so much better.
It might be more like 80 for yourself.
Yes, yeah. I was going to say that. It is definitely, we definitely work more than 40 hours a week. Okay, you definitely work more than 12 hours a day. Who these days, Lord. Okay, but anyway, so I know we are getting close to the end of the show.
Already?
Yes, so this only to give you 30 minutes in and out, like Insecure. It gives you a little taste, and then you got to come back next week. So give us a tip. So you can give us a financial tip from what you've learned. You can give us a tip for one of the businesses that you have. Just give us
a financial tip.
A tip.
Save. Be frugal and save. Only spend when necessary. Because a lot of people see the money and they get to blowing the money, thinking the money is going to keep coming forever. And in every business, you got downtime, especially like photography. Summertime is downtime because most people are spending money on traveling. Save. If you don't have to spend it, don't spend it. That's the biggest thing. A lot of people, see all this money coming in and they just blowing it as it come in, and then when that downtime come, there's no cushion. You know what I mean? You're looking around trying to figure out what's going on, and then now you're mad at your business and think it's failing when it's actually you that's causing it to fail. From not saving and, putting money in the right places.
Saving. Which is funny that you mentioned that. I just sat down the other day with someone and we did their budget. This is recently. And I put them on a $100 a week budget is what they're on. No card. Only time you can use your card is for gas. Like, there's no card. You have $100 in cash, and that's all you have. Sunday until 11:59, Saturday night. You got $100 for the week, because what I want them to see is that this money that you're spending on food every day, this money that you're spending on these things, I go to the store, I grab this, or you get this online, you do this, you now have no cards. All you have is $100, which still might be too much, but this is what I'm going to give you to start to see if you can manage this $100 a week. And kind of let's see how we're going. So that for them, I asked them yesterday, like, how much money did you spend today? And they was like $8. And I was like, okay. Well, guess how much you got left until so and we did that. So I did that with them. So we're gonna see how that kind of turns out by the end of the week. I'll let y'all know how their first week goes with this $100 budget, which is real. I mean,
that's a lot though for a week. $100 you should be able to manage.
You think so? You think so? But if you're buying breakfast, lunch and dinner, you spending this and you do it like. Yeah. Stuff adds up, so then the weekend comes. By the time the weekend get here, you looking like, I want to go out to eat, but now you all want to go out to eat. Y'all want to go with your friends? How much money you got left?
Right.
That's all you got. So my tip for this week, is going to be, I've talked about credit with you guys so much, but I saw a post the other day which really bothered me. So I saw a post that said that two people were having a conversation, and this guy told him that him going to buy some Jordans was more important than his credit. And I was like, what? Like, was this a real conversation? And they were like, yes, like this is what the conversation was. And I just, I've talked about credit, I want to say, for at least 2 weeks straight on this show about, how your credit is worth more than money. And, at some point I feel like, you have to take responsibility for what you're doing and the decisions that you are making. So for you to spend this $200 something on these shoes when you could have paid something off on this card because you're trying to impress people that don't even like you, is really what you're trying to do. Like you buying these new Jordans when, your credit is like a 400, I feel like. And, these people got to talk about you when you walk off anyway. Like, you got this, but your child support ain't paid. Or you got this and you ain't got no food. Or you got this and you... So it doesn't make sense for you to me, it doesn't make sense for you to buy these shoes when your credit isn't worth anything. Like, I feel like priority is what you need to do when it comes to priority. And for me, when I saw that post, like, your priority is shoes versus your credit. I don't know how old you are, but the person that posted that was over 30. So the conversation I'm sure you're having with someone is somebody that is over the age. So I feel like at some point we have to educate ourselves when it comes to certain things. So we can't be ignorant forever, and you can't use the excuse, well, I didn't know, because you could have researched it, you could have looked it up, you could have really tried to figure it out. So to that particular person who said that, I was just so really. It really just, I don't know, rubbed me the wrong way that you really feel like that, which to me, the circle of friends that you have is trash. Yeah. Because if that's how your mindset is, I really think that the circle of people that you are around is trash. That's neither here nor there. So my tip for this week, obviously, is back to credit, and getting your credit together. It's more than just, and the person that was on the show last week, they do it for free because they're a nonprofit. For credit management. So if this is something that you need done, if it's something that you have been working on, if you are trying to buy a house, if you have a goal in mind, if you want to buy a car, if you're trying to save for your kids' college, if you're trying to do any of these things, a lot of things that are going to come down to it is going to be your credit. And that is one of the most important, if not the most important thing that you can do, is to have great credit. Okay? So, Touche. Thank you for coming on the show today.
I appreciate you having me.
I know that you are not feeling well, but he showed up for me anyway, y'all. Okay? Business. He shows up for business. Okay? Yeah. I thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you all will subscribe to my YouTube page. It's called Making Money Moves Podcast. On iTunes, it is Making Money Moves. Every other platform, it is Making Money Moves. And then on YouTube, it is Making Money Moves Podcast. Like the page on Facebook. Like the page on Instagram. And we are out. See you next week.